Hey guys, this week's tip is actually going to be an integration of Google Slides and Seesaw. I had a teacher request this week for something that I wasn't familiar with, so I was kind of nudged to figure it out and learn some new things, and I found it to be super cool. Those of you that already know this technique and already use it and create your own stuff, high five. You're probably thinking I am way behind the times. But as you know, since I'm not in the classroom anymore, sometimes my brain just kind of works in a different way now, and you guys are the experts. And thanks to your ideas and motivations to, just make things cooler and more convenient, I don't really think of them until you ask for it. So here we are. The skill is to create an infinite clone of something. So as you can see with these pennies, I'm dragging and dropping, and every time I do it, there's still magically a penny in this nice, neat little stack. And so even though it's not an infinite clone, I am going to show you a way to make it appear as though there are a bunch. So it's already done with the nickels and the pennies. But I want to show you with the quarters and dimes how I did that. So I'm actually going to come back to this little page here where I saved the pictures of the coins that I want to use. And what you're going to do is I'm going to move this one out of the way and you'll see why in just a second. I'm going to start with my dime and I'm just going to hit Control D. That means duplicate. All right. And so you could go up here and hit Edit and duplicate, but you'll just notice that it'll save you a bunch of time if you just hit Control D a bunch of times. And, you'll know best how many dimes you actually need. But if you want to do a bunch just to stay safe, I recommend that. And you'll notice when I get to the end of my row, I move this one up a little bit. It's just because when it comes time to selecting them all to stack them, it's just easier when they're all right here together. Okay, so that's probably good for now. The next step is to drag and highlight all of these dimes that you just duplicated. Then you're going to go up here and hit Arrange, go down to Align, and you're going to align them two different ways, and it doesn't matter which one you do first. So the first thing I'm going to do is center them. So now you can see they're all aligned by their centers. And then you're going to go over here and hit top. And now it looks like one dime, but it's really however many I just duplicated. So I'm going to go ahead and hit copy, or I'll go ahead and just cut it so it's not on this slide anymore. And then I'm going to hit paste. And here it is to live on the slide, and voila, a quote, infinite number of dimes. Now, something important to consider, let's say you get all of this done and you want to move them, you're not really happy with the layout. You can't just grab one and move it because that's the whole point of what we're doing is having an infinite stack. If you want to move the whole stack, you just have to drag and highlight the whole thing, and it takes all of them in the stack with it. All right. So then same thing with the quarters, duplicate a bunch of times. And you don't have to do this on a separate page like I'm doing, but I will tell you, if you try to do this, I'll show you. If you try to do this on a page where there are other graphics, depending on how they're arranged or the order of them, sometimes it can try to select your other graphics too, and it just gets kind of complicated and it gets a little messy. So let's go ahead, and it looks like since I made this background the way I did, it's not going to make me highlight the background too. So I'll just finish on this page and delete that second slide. So we duplicated a bunch of times. Then we go in here, we highlight them, arrange it by the center, align it by the top, and then there you go. And then I'll delete the slide because I don't need it. And then the kiddos can drag to get their answers. Okay, so the main thing to remember about this, if you want to put this in Seesaw, that's totally fine. However, since you can't embed something in Seesaw, it's not going to be interactive in Seesaw. You'll essentially just give them a link to create a copy of this to submit via Google. So it may not be ideal for an actual assignment that you're wanting to grade, but it's a really convenient way to share something instead of passing out manipulatives. It could just be a whole group activity, but it's definitely an alternative to actual physical manipulatives if you want them to be able to drag and drop on their iPads. So again, thank you to those of you who reach out with specific requests. It pushes me to learn something new, and I love getting to share it with you guys, and I hope at least one of you finds it helpful. Thanks.